Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Songdoers. This is episode 11, which marks the halfway point of season 1. Since we're halfway through, I thought I should update you on some of the podcast's accomplishments thus far. 1. We've had listeners from 18 different countries, with some really good ones on that list. 2. Tito Bellington Jr. has reached out and confirmed that he is a fan. 3. Tito Bellington Sr. has been uncharacteristically quiet about his opinion on my podcast. 4. My bad. Tito Bellington Sr. unfortunately passed away in 2017. I am confident that he would have been an enormous fan. 5. If you stacked all the episodes so far end to end, they'd be high enough to reach the cookie jar on the top of the fridge. 6. We're out of cookies. I'm going to call Tito Bellington Sr. and see if he can pick up some more from the store. 7. My bad. I forgot Tito Bellington Sr. passed away. It's going to take some time for my brain to adjust to this, so in the meantime, let's listen to episode 11. Episode 11, The Pits. The Pits was a children's television show that started in 1992. The show revolved around a group of scruffy children who lived in a house built out of the pits of the food they ate. Cherry pits, peach pits, olive pits, pits. I don't know how to explain pits any simpler than that. If you get pits, good. If you don't, you're a lost cause. The show was controversial at the time because the children were played by actors in their 80s wearing backwards baseball caps. This was done for 2 reasons. 1, the shoot days were long and the union wouldn't allow children to be on set for 16-hour days. And 2, the producer, Ben Fink, was indebted to a retirement home after its residents saved him from a snake and bear attack. What's a snake and bear attack? Well, it's when a snake and bear team up to try to mug a man in the parking lot of a retirement home. In this case, the director was lucky that one of the residents, Mickey Doodiddle, was in the middle of a 12-hour window staring shift and happened to see the attack. The residents came out moaning, waving their canes and dentures. The snake and bear were killed and given a military funeral, not because they were deserving, but because many of the members of the retirement home hadn't done one in a while and had the means. So anyway, The Pits had a theme song, and it was composed by a guy named Dr. Fur. Dr. Fur wasn't traditionally a children's theme song writer. He actually hated children because when he was a child, they bullied him for being a teacher's pet. Eventually, the teachers turned on him too, and he turned to music to escape the cruelty of people. He eventually got his doctorate in music studies. That's why he's called Dr. Fur. He doesn't know anything about medicine. He's just an expert on pianos who hates people. The theme song that Dr. Fur wrote was catchy and hip, and the show became a huge success. Even though its cast were 80-year-olds, its message resonated with children. To live a good life, you have to do 3 things: help others, cry, and tell the truth. Many of the episodes took place in different situations and locations where the characters had to help, cry, and tell the truth. For example, the first episode features a young boy who was played by 2 different actors because the first one died partway through shooting. This young boy had to testify against a major pharmaceutical company in a court of law. On the stand, the boy tells the truth about their illegal business practices, which in turn helps others as the pharmaceutical company will be outed for their crimes, and then the boy cries when he realizes their retaliation will come in many forms, one of which being a knife attack on the steps of the courthouse. In another episode, a little girl fulfills all 3 lessons of the show when she helps her family by loading their luggage on a locomotive, tells the truth when she says she's going to miss them, and cries when they abandon her in Luxembourg to start a new life in Dusseldorf. During the summer hiatus between the 3rd and 4th seasons, the show's producer Ben Fink decided to leave the show. He was sick of making children's television and wanted to try his hand at a real gritty adult drama. So he made a movie called Cancer in Hell. It was a smash hit, so he followed it up with an even grittier, even more adult drama called Mourning Widows in Crushing Debt. The public loved it, so he went even further, as far as he could go, with a mini-series called The Guy Who Just by Breathing Experiences Excruciating Chronic Pain. It got poor reviews, not because of the subject matter, but because it had subtitles, and the subtitles were off and referenced characters that didn't exist, like Rollerblading Gremlin and Scooter Ghoul. Meanwhile, the children's show he started kept trucking along, and The Pits lasted 9 seasons before being replaced by a reality show about Corey Feldman as a funeral director called Corey for Your Loss. Anyway, let's get back to The Pits again and listen to its theme song, written by, do you remember? I'll give you 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. That's right. Jean-Luc No, it was Dr. Fur. What's the matter with you? Here's the song. The Pits is brought to you by the #1 toy in America, your own hair. I see the pits are coming, now I see the pits are here. The pits were far away, but now the pits are rather near. Now I know the pits are a real thing, up close the pits are cool. And if you disagree, then you, sir, are dumber than Gabagool. I know where the pits are gonna be, living in a cabin in a compound colony. You wanna go there, give it a go, give it a go. If they don't like you, the cabin's invisible. The pits are running this show. If you can't see the cabin, then they don't want you to know. They came to hang out, but when they wanna go, they'll go. And no, you cannot follow. The pits are the kids who follow 3 rules, or they'll perish, or they cherish them like jewels. Tell the truth and always cry. And lastly, help others or you will die. They were cursed by a witch in a ditch who put them in the ditch, and if they could, they would switch. So they didn't have to live inside a home made out of pits, but they can switch to a regular home of bricks. So the pits are marching in time. Eventually, we hope they will find that living life by the witch's resolution is fulfilling and so thrilling. So enjoy the evolution of the pits. Woo! In black and white. Well, that is it for this week's episode of Songdoers. Before I go, I want to let you in on a cool new sound I found. Remember the dress from the internet? The one that some people thought looked black and blue and other people thought looked white and gold? Well, I have discovered a sound that some people think sounds like a woman saying the name Martin, while other people hear gum being chewed inside of someone's mouth. Take a listen to the sound and see what you hear. Did you hear a woman softly saying the name Martin? Or the squishing and squashing of wet gum? Email me at songdoers@gmail.com and let me know. Oh no, I'm running out of time, and I didn't tell you the form.